Here we are, we've done it, we've created our rig after all these steps. Now at this point, we want to make a template of that rig so that others can access it. We've already created our master template that is accessible from our templates folder right here. So we have basil.tpl, which is the essentially the template that contains our entire rig. But sometimes we want to have access to different poses. Our animators are most likely going to have just one pose throughout their entire scene, or if they've gotten rid of one of their poses, it's much easier for them to go and get the pose that they want from a template instead of going to change all of these drawing to have the right drawing substitution, and even more so if there's values on the pegs. So to create an action template, as we call it, so action templates can be pretty much anything. It can be animation, it can be a still pose, it can contain the entire character or contain just a part of it. We'll start off by doing the full character. So I'm on my timeline, I'm going to press 0 to collapse the entire structure of my rig. So you can see these little arrows are now pointing inward with my character closed. So I'm going to select basil underscore gr dash peg. This is my reference that I've used for my character, so I don't need that. And the action template are done from the timeline only, so you can't create one from the node view. And to create one, I simply select one or multiple frames that I want to template, and I'm going to click on that frame. Then once it's selected, I drag it over to my library. Now as you can see, it's not working because we need to have the rights to our folder. So right click, select rights to modify, and I'm going again to select it, drag it over, and let go. Once that is there, I have to enter a name for that template. So I'll call mine AT for active template underscore basil underscore group. And then I'm going to add a underscore QF just to show that this is the quarter front view that I'm templating and not the front view. We'll create another one for the front view. So I press OK. If I click on it right here, you can see I have my little Lego block here. If I want to generate an image, I can right click here and select generate thumbnails. So now I have a preview of what is inside my scene. Right now, if I try to drag the little slider right here, as you can see, I cannot because I only have one image. And I'm going to do the same thing for my front view. So I'm going to do the same thing for my front view. I'm going to click, drag it over here. For front this time, press OK. I'm going to right click, generate thumbnails. You only have to do this once. Once they are generated, you won't have to generate them anymore once they are read on your folder. And again, I don't have any more images, but now, as you can see, I have access to both of my poses right here. So what you can do with this at the animation stage or the scene planning when you get to that point is, as long as the structure of your rig doesn't change, you're going to be able to use those templates and bring it over to your timeline. So here I have my front position. If I wanted to have my quarter front position at that particular frame, I'm going to select it from my library, drag it over, and as you can see, I get this little orange box. If you do not get the box inside of your timeline, that means something is wrong. Either something has been changed inside of the structure of your character, and that is a bit of a problem, but ideally you want to always keep the same structure and not change it. Otherwise, it might break your templates and you might have to redo them. So if I let go here on my frame, you can see that right here, all the keyframes and drawing substitutions are inserted into my template at that particular view. And so this is really easy if I want to change the entire position without having to change everything. And I could do the same thing if I wanted to go back to my front position. Just drag it over, drop it in, and that switches back. Now if you wanted to have the same thing for, let's say, the head, and I wanted to use a quarter front head and not the front one, I would need to go and create a template for those as well. So this is also an action template. The only thing I need to make sure of is that I'm going to go and select the peg that selects the entire head and not and not the entire body. So I'm going to move up the hierarchy, select the entire head. I could have used the selection icon as well. I'm going to find it by pressing O on the timeline to center on selection. So I have full head here. I want to make sure that my group is collapsed, so I'm going to press on the little arrow next to my peg right here. And once that is done, I select the frame that I want, drag it over, and here I'm going to name it AT_head_Basel_QF. Press OK. And now I have it here. I can generate a thumbnail if I want to. This is by no means necessary, but I find it easier to get through some of these by seeing what is in there. And I could do the same for my front view, but at this point you pretty much get the idea. Now if I wanted to change just the head, I would need again to go on the head peg. It will not fit anywhere else. So I want to go at this frame and want to bring it in. As you can see, I get this little symbol indicating that I cannot drop it anywhere but on the peg where it is meant to go. So right here you can see my orange box appears. I drop it, and now I have the quarter front view with the front body. So it can be useful for a wide variety of little things like that. If I had animation, often animators will select a portion and then template that. That is another type of template that you could do. It is also an action template, but used differently. Action templates always contain all of the drawing information, so the drawing substitutions and the peg information as well. So action templates are very, very useful when it comes to animation, when it comes to reusing a lot of things. Just remember and keep in mind, very, very important, you need to always keep the same structure, otherwise you will have to redo those templates. So that is it for our rig, guys. I hope you've enjoyed these tutorials, and congratulations on making it through all the way to the end. Bye-bye.